Well, hey, friend, and welcome back to Remix Moments with Martine. It's your quick mindset shift to help you move forward one moment at a time. So, I want you to think about this word, productivity. What comes to mind when you hear that word, when you think about that word? Do you think about a to do list with 100 unchecked boxes? Do you think about hustling from task to task, but still feeling like you didn't do enough? Maybe it's the feeling of guilt when you take a break, even though you're exhausted. We've been taught that being busy equals being productive, but that's a lie. Productivity isn't about how much you do, it's about doing what actually moves the needle. And I see this a lot and I've experienced this a lot. So today we're going to redefine productivity so you can start measuring success in a way that actually aligns with your life and your business. So if you're feeling like you're constantly doing all the things but never making real progress, this episode is for you, my friend. Welcome to Remix Moments with Martine, where we will remix your mindset one moment at a time. I'm your host, Martine Williams, and I'm here to bring you a quick burst of inspiration, insight, and a fresh spin on your mompreneur journey. In just a few minutes, we'll remix your mindset, energize your day, and keep you moving forward with purpose. Let's dive in to today's moment. So first, I want to talk about the productivity myth, which is more isn't always better. It's not. And the Harvard Business Review states that 26% of people feel like their time is being spent on meaningful work. Only 26% of the people feel like their time is being spent on meaningful work. Like, let that set in for a minute. That means that 74% of people are spending their days on things that don't actually move them forward. That's mind blowing, isn't it? And let's be honest, like, how often do you finish your day feeling like you were busy all day, but didn't actually accomplish anything that mattered? And then what happens after you do that? You beat yourself up. You take yourself down this horrible story loop about yourself and your ability and capability to impact your life, impact your business. And that's because we've all been taught to measure productivity on volume, not by value. And the truth is, checking 10 tasks off your to-do list does not mean that you were productive. How many times at the end of the day have you knocked those things off and you still didn't feel like you were productive? Filling your calendar with back-to-back meetings or errands, like with no margin, does not mean that you had a productive day. Running yourself into the ground with no energy left for your family does not mean that you're doing a good job, despite what hustle culture will tell you. We have to stop glorifying busyness and start defining productivity in a way that makes sense for both your business and your life and your motherhood. So, what really matters when you think about productivity and redefining productivity? There are three key shifts to help you redefine what productivity really means. Number one is to shift from doing more to doing what matters. Now, that seems so like, duh, I know that. But when you really do like a time audit and you look at what you're spending your time on, I want you to think about, are those things the things that make the most impact? So think about the most important things in your life and your business, the things that actually move you forward. And I want you to ask yourself, what tasks actually create momentum in my business? What actions lead to real results rather than just feeling busy? I have a quote on my desk that I've had at my desk, both this house and the house before, and it says, what should you be doing right now? Because there's a lot of things that can feel like I'm being productive or feel like they're moving the needle. But what actions really lead to real results and not just feeling busy? Where am I spending time on things that don't actually matter? Like, ask yourself these questions. So, for example, it's like we run around the house, right? Cleaning up every little mess, but ignore the thing that will actually make the biggest difference, which is sitting down for 5 minutes with our kids to connect on the messy couch with the laundry everywhere and dishes in the sink. So the mindset shift here is productivity isn't about how much you do, it's about doing the right things. I said this to my coach years ago. I said, if we do enough of the right things, enough times, we'll get the right results. So it's not just doing that one time, sitting down for 5 minutes and connecting with your kid. That's a right thing to do. but it's doing it enough times to create the right results, enough times to get the end result that you're looking for. So the action step, so that's just kind of putting a little extra bonus on that. But the action step I want you to think about is look at your to-do list today and circle the one thing that will make the biggest difference and just start there. Most of us tend to want to check off everything on our list, or you do this. You look at your list and you see the most important things, but the most important things are going to be uncomfortable. And so you're like, I'll just skip over that because this would be easier. So I'll just do a lot of easy things versus what would be the most productive, the most meaningful thing, the most productive thing in my business. I see you because I'm you. Okay. The second shift I want you to think about is shift from checking off the boxes to creating impact. We all love checking things off our to-do list, but is your list actually moving you forward? So instead of asking, did I get a lot done today, which is volume based, I want you to ask yourself, did I make progress on something that matters? That's value based. Did I do something that aligns with my bigger vision? That's value based. Did I spend time on something that brings me joy, peace, and growth? That's value based. I was just having a conversation with my husband about this. I don't think he would mind if I shared this, but if he does, I will just ask for forgiveness. We were just talking about some things. He's the CEO of his own business, and he was just sharing with me some things that really are bringing and giving him energy in his business. But in his mind, he has thought that it's a waste of time because it's not quote unquote productive. It's not like this task or thing that's like in his business necessarily. It's getting out and meeting people and networking and creating opportunities for him to free up his creativity and be innovative, and spending time doing those things give him energy. And so I'm like, that actually is productive because you're spending time on something that brings you joy, that brings you personal growth. And what your business and your employees need is the Shaw that has the energy, that is excited about business, that feels aligned and able to use some of his creativity in the things that he does the best, right? So it's having that mindset shift around, did I get a lot done today? Or did I spend time on the things that really give me energy and bring me joy and peace and growth? That's what people need. That's what your business needs. That's what your family needs. So you could think about did you spend for your business, if you have a business, most of you do, if you spend all day responding to emails, tweaking your website, or planning out ideas, but never actually pull the trigger and launch the thing that will generate the income, guess what? You were busy, not productive. You're trying to make it perfect. That's being busy, not being productive. If you meal prep and you're doing laundry and you're organizing the entire house, but never take a moment to connect with your kids or your own well-being, were you truly productive? Rest is productive. Self-care is productive. Sitting down and having a conversation with your kids is productive. So we have to redefine what productivity looks like for you. And it will be different in different seasons of your life. So, my kids are older now, and how I define productivity as a mom is very different than it was when they were little. So the mindset shift here is productivity isn't about finishing a list. Like some of us, I've done this before, but many of you and the clients that I work with, their worth is so tied to finishing a list. And if I finish the list, then I'm productive, and then I'm worth and worthy of self-care. I'm worth and worthy of taking a break. So productivity isn't about finishing a list. It's about making an impact. And sometimes the impact that is needed most is the impact on your own well-being, your own relationships, and your own self-care. So at the end of the day, I want you to write down one thing you did that actually mattered, it made you move forward in your business, made you connect with yourself or with a family member. Like, what actually mattered today?
Hey friend, let's talk. It's time to book your clarity call. We are going to spend 1 full hour focused on you. A clarity call isn't about pressure. It's about possibilities. It's about you. You having a space to talk through what's on your heart and mind, you walking away with a clear vision and practical next steps, and you feeling confident in what's next and how to get there. You don't need to have it all figured out. That's my job. All you need to do is show up, and we'll figure it out together. This is the best hour you can invest in yourself right now. Not in 6 months from now, not next month, right now. And don't just take my word for it. Here's what one of my coaching clients had to say after working together.
Working with Martine helped my confidence in starting and growing a new business. I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I wasn't quite sure how to accomplish it. Martine helped me work through my ideas based on the results of my ProScan, and having weekly calls really helped me stay focused and working toward my goal. I highly recommend working with Martine for those who want to grow their business or who are just getting started. Having that focused time to work and work together is priceless.
That transformation, it starts with one conversation. It's time to stop spinning your wheels and start making real progress. So head right now to martinewilliams.com or in the show notes and grab your private clarity call spot on my calendar before they're gone. And since I personally monitor my inbox, if you don't see a time slot that fits your calendar, just send me an email at martinewilliams.com with 3 times that do work, and I will make it work for you. All right, friend, let's get back to the show.
And the third shift is from hustle to energy alignment. You know, I've been talking about this since the beginning of this podcast that I am anti-hustle. I'm all about energy alignment. So here's something that we just don't talk a lot about. Productivity is just not about time management. It's about energy management. And energy management is the new time management. We all have the same amount of time in the day. And some tasks take a lot of focus and creativity, and others are more mindless. So I want you to ask yourself, when do I feel the most energized and focused? What are you doing when you feel the most energized and focused? And am I using that time for the most important work? This requires you to put up a mirror and really check yourself before you wreck yourself, because we can create all kinds of thoughts and beliefs around productivity, around our energy, around focus, around what really matters. Like I said earlier, we can like fool ourselves into thinking that we were productive by doing a bunch of little things when none of those little things actually move the needle, but they felt good to check off the list. Am I taking breaks when I need them, or am I forcing myself to push through? We have got to learn to rest versus quit. If you don't learn to rest, you will go and push harder and harder and harder, and then you will just throw the towel in. That is the end result of pushing through versus allowing yourself to take breaks. If you know you're the most creative in the morning, don't waste time on emails. Like, reframe your day, reframe your schedule based on what are the things that make you feel the most energized and focused. Use it to work on your biggest business goals if you know you're the most creative in the morning. So this requires self-awareness. It requires you to pay attention to how you're operating. And this is something when we do the ProScan in my one-on-one coaching that will really help you to align and assess and figure out what is, like, some people like to follow like the Miracle Morning or the 5 a.m. club, and that works for some people, but it might not work for you. So figuring out your rhythms and your most productive time of day to do the things that are going to matter is what changes the game, because what works for me may not work for you. And when we try to like put ourselves into the mold of what everyone else is doing, that's when burnout comes in, because you're showing up as someone that's not authentic to you, authentic to your strengths, how you operate naturally, and you just try to like hustle and grind it out and push through, and then you find yourself in a state of burnout. If you know you're exhausted by 3 p.m., don't schedule a complicated task. Like, I don't schedule any complicated things at the end of the day. I'm definitely a morning person. I'm most focused in the morning, that early morning time. And so like even my coaching, if at all possible, I try not to plan it in the afternoons or early evenings, because I just know that is not my optimal time to be coaching people. So plan something simple that doesn't require your best brain power. If you know at 3 p.m., I'm checking out. So and this is like not perfection here. There are going to be days where you have to push through, but overall, it's not sustainable to push through those things in the long term. So think about productivity as a mindset shift isn't about doing more. It's about using your energy wisely. Using your energy wisely. So identify today your high energy time of the day and protect it for your most important work. So I want you to think about that. When is your most high energy time of the day? And what's on your task list at that time? Do you have things scheduled during that time? And as a final encouragement, because I hear this a lot, you're not behind. You're not behind. You're right where you need to be to learn what you need to learn, to do what you need to do. You don't need to do more. You don't need to work harder. You don't need to squeeze more into your day to be successful. True productivity is about doing the right things, not just more things. It's about focusing on impact, not just task completion, and aligning your energy with what matters most. So today, instead of asking, did I do enough? I want you to ask yourself, did I do what actually matters? What was the target for that day? Did I hit that target? Because it will never feel like enough. I'm telling y'all right now, if you're looking for the enoughness, you have to first of all define what that is. But the better question is, did I do what actually matters? Because there's always going to be more laundry. There's always going to be more work to do in your business. There's always going to be more to do in your family as a mother. But ask yourself, not did I do it all or did I do enough, but did I do what actually matters? That's the real definition of productivity. So if this episode spoke to you, you know sharing is caring. And I would love for you to share this with a friend. I absolutely love when y'all give me feedback or you share these on social. You can tag me at Martine31Williams on Instagram. And if you need help getting clarity on what actually moves the needle for you, like, let's just talk. I want you to go to martinewilliams.com and book your free clarity call right now. I have just a couple of spots open right now for my one-on-one coaching before I go to a wait list again. So if you need a sign, here's your sign, friend. You can also go to the show notes for details, and the link is in there as well. But you've got this. Keep going and redefine what productivity is. All right, I'll catch you on the next episode.
Well, that's it, friends, for this remix moment. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me, and I hope that you are feeling inspired and ready to take on whatever comes your way. Remember, even small moments can lead to big changes. If this moment made a difference, be sure to subscribe, share with your fellow moms, and leave me a quick review. Seriously, it means the world to me to hear from you. And until next time, I am believing in you, and I will catch you in the next moment.